Hello, hello, beautiful people. Okay, y'all, this is a live for me and anyone else who wants to join in, but I'm using this as an FAQ for my new book that's coming out. So, yes, child. So, this is my pivot planner. Y'all should know by now, when I disappear for like weeks on end, it's because I'm getting my life right, my mind right, and it's like, Fallon, hello. Fallon, so I'm just talking about my new book that's out, The Pivot Planner, 206 pages worth of planning. Hey, Ashley. So I was just saying that when I disappear for a long time, it's because I'm working on a project. Let me wave to you, beautiful people that I haven't seen in a long time. Hello. So when I disappear, it's because I'm trying to focus a little bit and I just want to get my life right. So I have been away putting together my pivot planner. Y'all, it took me a matter of weeks to put this together. And I don't know why this happens with me. I think sometimes we overthink things, like if God tells you to create a book, if he tells you to write a book, if he tells you to make a project or do an event, just do it. Even if it's not perfect, even if you don't have all the pieces, just lean in and see what happens, right? So I took a break from Instagram, social media, just to see what I could do. And if you recall, I just dropped my book, one sec. If you recall, this is definitely not a planned live. You can see, as you recall, I had a pivot journal that I created. And this journal is one that I made last year. Like, I just felt pressed on my spirit. The pages, this is the Holy Spirit's work. The pages just like downloaded into my mind of what it needed to be. And I have a full-time job, obviously, and I would just be designing in my spare time. I wouldn't call myself before this time a creative with a capital C, but I think now I would consider myself to be a creative, a designer, a writer. So I made this journal. This is my first iteration of it. And I liked it, and I was like, yeah, this is great. But my heart wanted to make a planner. I was a teacher in my former career. And as a teacher, it required so much planning. It required such detail-oriented type of logistics. But I needed flexibility because I was a teacher, but also an entrepreneur. I had my own nonprofit. I had so many things going on that I wanted to create a tool that would help people. And a lot of people with the Great Recession are pivoting and changing and doing all these new things that they've never done before, which requires them to have new types of planning that they've never done before in their lives. So this tool, the Pivot Planner, combines some of the greatness of the Pivot Journal and puts it into a planner format. So what it actually is that it's the Pivot Planner pages in the front. You still get to think about your self-audit, your self-care. You think about your life's list. There's even a page for a vision board for your values. Helps you set your vision, set your goals for the year, SMART goals, all of those things. And then it breaks out into the planner section. The planner section is undated because this is me being random and it showing up in the things I create. I used to just plan, and then all of a sudden I would say, no, I don't want to finish this week. I just want to do something else. David, hello. Wow, so many awesome people on here. So yes, I would say, oh man, I'm not going to finish this whole month. I would kind of drop off rather than feeling bad about it. Now I just say, okay, so I dropped off. That's fine. I can come back to it when I'm ready. Each month has undated weeks for planning, right? And then each week I ask myself the question, what are my big 3 things for the week? What 3 things that can I do that will set me up for my next week so that I can be successful? And if I do those 3 things, I know that I've been successful this week. I used to have a to-do list a mile long and I would never finish it. And I would always feel like I failed myself in some way. Now I'm giving myself grace by saying, what are the top 3 things that I should do, that I get to do in order to set me up for my next week? And then I even have a tracker for a few habits there. There are about 4 spots for habits. Do you want to walk more? Do you want to drink more water? Do you want to go to bed on time? Put those things on your habit tracker and then check them off each day of the week. And then each of the days end in a piece of gratitude. What went well What can I be grateful to God for? So that goes on for quite a little bit of time. Every 3 months or so, it's going to have you do a quarterly reflection. And all of this stuff that I'm talking about, I tested it out for months. I have a digital version of this that I'll actually share on my website, but I was testing this out. Is this how my brain works? Is this how I'm able to do my goals? Not gonna lie to y'all, this year, using my pivot system and my pivot strategy, I completed every goal that I put on my list to do, every single goal. I have one last one that it ends on December 29th, but everything else, because I use my pivot system that I share in this pivot planner, I was able to accomplish my goals and do it with so much grace. So let me get to the section here. So it does all that for a few months. And then you might find I'm not really the weekly planner type of person. I'm not a monthly planner. I want to have a day-to-day type of planning. I got you covered. If you go to the middle of the journal, you'll see a section here that says, can you even read it? Daily. And then the planner switches to a daily format. And this one, my designer really killed it on this one, because I wrote and drew something on my iPad and said, hey, can you create this? And my designer said yes. The rest of the pages I had covered because I had done them before. This particular page, it was hard for me to figure out because I've been trying to get my perfect type of daily planner, but she caught the vision and she made it. So this is what it looks like. You have the months at the top, all of the months and all of the days of the month. You just circle, what month is it? What date is it? And then you have your layout there. It says, what is today's priorities? Once again, the big three. What's my big three for today? And then it has tasks. This is where you take your big three and you break them down into micro tasks. So if I have a goal of saying, I want to move my body more. What are the micro tasks? Well, I'm going to do a morning walk. Okay, did I do my morning walk? In the evening time, I want to do a fitness video on YouTube. Very simple. Micro task will help you reach your goals. And then there's a section here that says room to pivot. A gratitude section, you know, I love gratitude. And then this is my favorite part. Here is the time layout in 30-minute increments, because I once had a planner that was 15-minute increments. Y'all, it gave me anxiety. No, thank you. Hour chunks were too big, so 30 minutes was a sweet spot for me. Once again, like I said, I tested this out. That's what works for me. And the day starts at 6 a.m. and it ends at 10 p.m. You should be sleeping at some point, but I wanted to give you enough space if you're an early riser or someone who's more like a late time person. So those are the different planning structures that I have put in the journal. And then I have my trackers in the back. There's a section called track. This is where you're tracking things like, let's see, your wins tracker. What are your wins for the year? You want to get to at least 10. I gave you 10 because if you don't get a win every month, you won't be upset because you have like 2 freebies. It's fine. Brightest moments of the year. What are the great things that happen each month? Just list them down there. And this is my favorite part. It says random acts of goodness. And this square is made up of 24 spots, which means if you do 2 random acts of goodness each year, you will finish up this little grid here. So it's encouraging you to have philanthropy. Did you volunteer one day? Did you help an old lady cross the street? Did you donate money to a good cause? Put that in there. And it reminds you that you're on earth not just to do good things for yourself, but good things for other people as God empowers you to. And then, I keep saying everything is my favorite part. I think you're supposed to love the product that you made, which is why I'm so excited about this. And so this is my notes section. See, it says notes and it has a date in the corner and it's dotted pages. I've tested this out. Line pages don't work for me. Blank pages are okay, but dotted pages, that's where the magic is, because you can draw, you can write in a straight line if you need to. So the rest of the journal in the back, it's about maybe 20 pages or so of note page in the back, because when I was designing my other journals, I was using a lot of sticky notes and I realized, I hadn't put enough space each day to jot down notes, which is why I had sticky notes. I have eliminated, hopefully, the need for sticky notes. You might still be a sticky note type of person, and that's totally okay. But I gave you some note pages in the back. All in all, I am super, super happy about how this planner turned out. It's one that I will start using right away. Because it's undated, I don't have to wait till January. I'm actually going to start using it this coming week because it's the first week of December. So I'm glad to have a real journal back in my hands. There are a few that I used to love and use all the time, but I'm so moved that now I can use my own planner that I made by myself. But it's for everyone else out there who feels like God is giving you some big vision that maybe you haven't quite figured out how to bring that vision to fruition. This is the most comforting thing about God, is that if God gives you a vision, he empowers you to see that vision come to pass, but he also gives you tools as well to get better at that. And for much of my life, I was trying to do this at random. But now I'm more like a systems-oriented person. I love a great system. Systems support the things that I'm trying to do. This is my pivot system. These are all of my pivot strategies in one book. And don't be intimidated by the size. It's actually, I think, twice the size of my journal. Don't be intimidated by the size. The size is really just there to give you a lot of space to journal. Hi, Kelly. I'm just talking about my new pivot planner that I created to help you plan for all the great things that God wants to do in your life. All right, so that's pretty much it. Just wanted to share this with you and leave this here as a Q&A because people might ask, how do you use this pivot planner? It's actually pretty self-explanatory, but if you have any questions, feel free to DM me or leave your questions below. Any other things? Ooh, like I said, there are many different ways to use this journal. Because I love digital products, this journal is also available digitally. If you're someone who loves a paper and pen, if you have good handwriting or something, I like to say I have good handwriting, so I like to see my writing in a physical product, but I also really like digital versions as well. So I have created a digital version of the Pivot Planner. It's available on my website at timmycomo.com/pivot. It might be /pivot planner. Try both of those. I'm still working on my website. It's done, but there are two different pages where you can reach it. And so I have the option for you to use things like Evernote. I started using it on Notable. It's beautiful on Notable. I tested it out myself. I highly encourage you to do that. There's a writable version of it, but there's also a typable version, a fillable version, that's the word for it. A fillable version if you want to type out your actual answers. So that is an option as well. And then lastly, there is a Notion template that is a duplicate of my Pivot Planner and the way that I plan. I'm on a high, y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you. This literally just came in the mail this morning and I said, I gotta share it with the people. It is available on Amazon right now. I've pushed to get it out. I will say, y'all, I'm not a huge fan of Black Friday. I feel like it does fuel consumerism in a really awkward way. So it was available before Black Friday. I don't have any deals for it per se, because it is what it is and it costs what it costs. So for the first time, I'm not going to be bashful about the price. I think it is either... No, I'm not going to say the price because it might change. So you can find it on Amazon and that is what the price is. It does cost a little bit less if you buy it in the digital format. And so I highly encourage you to check that out as well if you want some cost savings. But please check out the Pivot Planner. It will be doing you a favor because it's a really, I would say it's like a God-ordained type of system for me. It's changed my life once I started thinking of my life in quarters. It's made my work so much more digestible. I'm able to get to all of my goals and do the things that God has called me to do without like getting super stressed out. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for joining. I know I haven't seen you all in quite some time, but take care. Have a good weekend. Let me know if there are any things that you're planning as your goals for the upcoming months. I'd love to pray with you. Send me a DM. Okay, take care. Bye, everyone. I always struggle to end these things. I don't even know where the end button is. Such a fake millennial. Let's see. Here we go.